Welcome back, Vapors. We are going to continue from the up close. We are going to continue with the rebuild aspect. I'm going to be in the Trident clone from Fastech. I'm going to be building a microcoil, showing you how to do it, just the basics of it, putting it with cotton, putting some juice on the cotton, and firing up. So let's do it. Okay, welcome back, Vapors. We have a second half of this Trident clone from Fastech video. This is going to be the rebuild portion. Thank you for coming back and viewing this video. Again, if you have any comments or questions, please comment down below. So what we got here is a few things that you're going to need to build your own coils. You are going to need some Kanthal wire. It could be flat. I got the round here. 28 gauge is what I'm going to be working with today. You are going to need an ohm meter. You don't absolutely need to have this if you're going above 1 ohm. If you go below, you're really going to need one of these so it can get all the decimals on there. I really highly recommend having a really good tweezers. I got these tweezers from Fastech. These are ceramic tip tweezers, so I am able to fire the coil and pinch them together while they are while it's sitting, because I do not torch my wires or my coil like that. And then you're going to need something to wrap around it. I'm going to be using a 1/16 drill bit. That's just normally what I use. And then obviously I'm going to be using some cotton. I'm going to be using Maxim cotton. It was recommended to me and a bunch of people from Nick at grimgreen.com on his YouTube channel. Also, another thing you're going to need is some sort of clippers. Could be fingernail clipper, side clipper, scissors, whatever. I picked these clippers up from Fastech. They get really close to the base there, so you don't have as long leads coming out to possibly short out your build there. Let me take a toot real quick. Okay. Alright, so what I'm going to need is I'm going to need some Kanthal wire here. I usually take between 4 to, it depends on what you're doing, 4 to 6 inches. Like I said in my previous video, I'm going to be doing 2 dual coil build, so I'm going to need two strands here. So I'm going to cut 2 of them off. Doesn't need to be completely accurate with these coils, or with the wire anyway. So I really like the microcoils. Get them uniform, and then they glow from the inside out, and then you're good to go. Just test them on your own meter, and make sure you have a battery that's powerful enough, especially if you're using a mechanical mod, because that's just a straight connection. They can get pretty hot pretty fast. So we'll just go right into this, rebuild this Trident clone. So I got my Kanthal wire here, and I got my drill bit. I usually leave a little tail so I can hang on to it. I apologize if my fingers are fat, but that's just life there. So I'm gonna do probably about 5 wraps. Try to get them as close as possible. Easier to set up your microcoil there. And there's all sorts of different coils that you can build. As you can see here, they are they're pretty spread out. So what I want to do is I want to push it together, try to get them as close as possible. That's a nice thing about this Kanthal too. If you make a mistake, you can always correct it. For the most part, I've never come across a coil that I made that I could not fix, whether I had to unravel the whole thing and start over or whatnot. So I got one coil there. Take that off, set that down, and we'll go ahead and grab this other one. Do the same as we did with the first one. Another nice thing, just a personal touch, is that the person who actually got me into building these would be Rip Trippers at his YouTube account. So if you want to swing by and say hello, he's got a lot of knowledge. This one is not focusing. There we go. I did, I won't have to redo that one. I went over one of the wires. Did not even mean to do that. So I'll redo this off camera real quick. But yeah, there's a lot of resources out there for anything that you're looking for, especially when it comes to vaping devices and that on YouTube. You can go to Grim Green, you can go to Rip Trippers, guy down East Texas, vaping with Twisted 420. Guy's hilarious. More in-depth reviews would be Phil Basardo at his P Basardo. That's his channel there. So you know, he does juices. He sells his own juices, I do believe, and you know, he's one of the major players in the whole business. Also another guy that I really enjoy. Fiance does not, but it's pretty funny. Indoor Smokers. The guy's hilarious. Epic e-cig reviews with Tia Vapes. They're right on point with everything. They're over in Washington there. Okay. So now I got my two coils built. I'm gonna grab it here, and you also want to make sure here that you have one tail that's a little bit shorter than the other. So I'm gonna have to just cut it shorter. That way it's easier to put into your RDA there. And that one's still a little too long, but I'll work with it. This one, that one's not too bad. I'll just cut them both a little bit. That way they're easier to put in, easier to cut. Okay, so now I got the RDA here. Now I want to loosen these connections, these top caps, so I can see through. So I can see through and make my wires go through there. So we're gonna go here and especially on this Trident clone here, is the negative posts are a little bit lower than the positive posts in the middle there. So you want to have your the one lead that wraps under go to the negative. You know, that's just my personal opinion on this RDA here. I'll just take these caps off. No sense in fidgeting with them for 15 minutes. This one's being a pain. Probably should have straightened it out a little bit before I started, but okay. Another thing you wanna know about these RDAs here is you want to have a gap. You want to have a gap in between your coil and the post itself, because you do not want them touching, because that will short out your build, and that's not ever a good thing to have a short. It's just the basics, safety first. If you don't have a good enough battery to go a certain, sub ohms, don't do it at all. It's the last thing we need is for people to get hurt doing this. There have been people that have done it, but I always say safety first. So we'll tighten down this negative connection here. I'll leave the positive open because this is going to be a dual coil build. So I'm going to grab this other coil. And on this build, I'm not going to be able to do the... Oh yeah, I will. Thinking ahead of myself here. So I'm putting that in the positive. I'll put in the... Try and make it into the negative. Okay. Alright, so I got it in the negative and the positive. And then see if it'll focus. There. So I'm just pulling on the positive, trying to get it through a little bit better. Now I'm going to tighten down the negative just to hold it for now. So I got my two coils in there, and then that one's pretty low down. So in order to fix stuff like that, get your drill bit out, and then you can just focusing and working on today. You would just want to lift it up, and you want to try and get it in the middle of the whole of the post there. And then when that's done, then you go over to this other side, make sure the same thing. Just repeat, rinse. Now you want it wherever you're trying to get it to. Some people like it lower, some people like it higher. I actually like mine about middle to low for my so you can see that it's just above the lip. Okay, so when that's done, now I gotta tighten down the positive connection. I do not like flatheads, but I really do like this RDA. So now I'm just going to clip these leads on here, and then I hope I can find because that one just flew across the room, so I'll have to sit there and find that. But I got focus. So the finished product, I'll have to clip the negative leads real quick, but yeah, that's all the build. That's how you build your coils there. just want to make sure that you don't want to tighten them too hard, otherwise it'll break the connection. Then you'll have to start over and do a new coil. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get that out of the way. I'm gonna throw this onto our ohm tester here. Alright, so right there I'm at 0.38 ohms with this dual coil build, and I do have some a really good battery. Right now it's a 30 amp battery. I believe the last 0.38 build I did was drawing just a little over 11 amps. But you always want to just make sure, you know, that you're using safety first. So I gotta take my power source off the top part, so I can, because the RDA head on there is a different depth on there. So I'm just gonna tighten this on, and then I gotta screw it until it touches. And then I put it back onto my power source. Okay, so now I got it on my power source here. See if it's going to focus. Oh, I need a little work on there. You like the bottom one, bottom left here, that one's going from the inside out. The top one is doing that as well now too. But now I need to take my tweezers. Whoops. Push till you can see here that I'm pushing that together. The coil here, because I'm going for the microcoil, and you don't need to use a lot of pressure here. I'll do that with the other one as well. Don't need a lot. Right. Alright, this is going to be a single coil now. Just one of my leads broke, so. As you can see that it popped. That's why it got so bright, but you know, that's the name of the game. I prefer single coils myself anyway, so it's not that big of a deal to me. I have my other RDA that's set up at I think that's a 0.34 ohm build, and that one I'm doing in dual coil mode, so you know, I do more than just single coils, so. Yeah, I don't know why this camera doesn't focus like it's supposed to. But as you can almost see, it's going from the inside out just like it should be. Now before I apply any cotton to this, I'm going to test the ohms on it since it switched from dual to single. Okay, this is a 0.6 ohm build, which I'm still happy with. The lower the ohms, the more risk involved, but the more heat I get, the warmer the vapor, all that good jazz there. Although I do like the 1.6 ohm builds and anything else in that range. Okay, so since I got that done, I gotta lock this down, grab my cotton. Okay, and as I stated before, I use this Maxim cotton. It's just organic cotton balls. And it's pretty pliable to deal with this stuff here. And normally I just put a cotton cloud under it and then drip at it, and away we go. You know, and a lot of this stuff has to do with the wicking itself. The way that it wicks. Because you can have the best coil build in the world, but the worst wicking, and you ain't gonna get the vapor or the flavor. And so just put that under there, and you don't want to pack this stuff in either, because this cotton expands when juice is applied. So yeah, I normally just do something along the lines of just a little bit of figure 4 here. Just enough to get that cotton under there. Grab another piece of cotton here, just a little piece. It's a little bit too big. Okay, we're back. Let's see. We're just going to finish up this cotton here, and then I'm going to put some juice on it, and then we're going to vape it. So, like I said earlier, you don't want to pack this stuff in because it's going to expand. And sometimes if you're having difficulty with the cotton staying where you want it, you can put some juice on it, and it will be more pliable that way. So for this one here, I got the cotton in there. I am going to be using Mount Baker Vapor Pear. It's in the 6 milligram. This is from Mount Baker Vapor. It's pear. It's 6 milligrams. It is 70 VG with 30% distilled H2O. And then also I'm going to be putting in this menthol, also from Mount Baker Vapor, and that is also 6 milligrams of nicotine. And this one is 80 PG, 20 VG. This menthol is very strong, so you want to be careful if you ever get it. So just a little heads up on that one. Mount Baker Vapor is another great company that I really enjoy. I enjoy a bunch of their juices, so if you haven't checked them out, you should. Very highly recommended. But we just I made a mess. Yeah, you just put some, get your cotton nice and wet. Don't try to overflow it like I just did on the sides. So I get that saturated there. And then I'm going to put just a couple, maybe 1 or 2 drops of this menthol. Because like I said, it's very strong. If you're getting tired of one of the juices that you're using and you enjoy the menthol, you can get this and add it to it. That's perfectly fine. It all depends on what you like. It's all fair game. So let's put this back together. From my other video, you want to make sure that the hole is over where the coil is. The coil's right there. Should probably move some of this cotton because you need that coil to breathe a little bit. Otherwise you ain't going to get that vapor out. So we're going to put that on here. Right over the top, and it's kind of tough. It's kind of a tough little thing at times. And then yeah, I really like these O-rings on this device here. It's as you can see, there's a coil there and the hole's right there. So if it will obviously it's not focusing again. I apologize for this, but so I'm gonna go with the biggest hole on the top cap, 2mm hole. Line those holes up. And the drip tip. I gotta take this top cap off again because the hole didn't line up properly. Okay, there we go. Alright, so I have the drip tip on, and then let me take a vape here. As you can hear, it's firing fantastic. Alright, so I'll go back out to normal view, and then you can see me take a couple of vapes, and then that'll be the end of this video. As you can see, that this build that I just did makes a tremendous amount of vapor. It's got a lot of flavor. It's really warm. I really enjoy it. So I hope this tutorial helped you very well. If not, there are a few other people out there. One that I highly recommend again is Rip Trippers. He gets emails daily, as far as I know, about new coil builds and how to do them, and he's got a bunch of in-depth tutorials on how to make these coils. So I'll get one more toot off this, and then you guys can enjoy the rest of your Easter evening. Vape hard, my friends. This is the Vaping Cowboy.